So this is Black Bridge. This is the line that goes to March from Peterborough. Generally a lot of freight goes down there. This is the River Nene heading out to sea. And then this is the lower part of the embankment. See a lot of rowers practicing up and down here. And this is one of the only 3 bridges that cross this river in Peterborough. And this is called the Frank Perkins Parkway that sits on top of there, which then changes to Fletton Parkway about a mile or so further to our left. So we're now underneath the Parkway Bridge. This is looking up towards the centre of Peterborough, coming downstream down the Neen, and then over in the background you will see some flats. That's where I used to live back in the day. Currently got some bridge strengthening work on, and as you can see they've pollarded the willows as well. Right, this building used to be a flour mill, and it's now been bought by Whitbread, and they're going to do something fancy with it, because this area now is under development, tidying all the original railway engine sheds up, and you can see the archways there. So 1, 2, 3 archways. I'm not certain what that wooden building is, something to do with the railways, but apparently there was a turntable in this area, and used to be able to get all the engines in the correct engine sheds for probably maintenance. So these buildings have been lovingly restored. They look absolutely great, and there just on the end is another shed, and that's now been turned into a coffee shop. Sand Martin House. I don't see a lot of Sand Martins, but this is Bewitched Coffee House, and ironically enough we had a coffee here yesterday. Nice glassed out door, and then a little bit of information on what this is. Whole structures there. Moving on. So these are new buildings that are along the River Nene. Glass balconies. Look quite nice, but as you can imagine, very expensive. So if you're an MP, Novak Djokovic, or a millionaire, these are the places for you. But for the plebs like us, nope, can't afford to live here. So this is looking back to the first bridge I told you about, the Parkway Bridge. The building that I told you was Whitbread's, we now believe it's Whitworth's. And this is the wooden structure that we don't know what it is, but it might be associated with the railway somehow. This is the embankment. Apparently they've got lots of development ideas, various boats, ubiquitous seagulls, and then working down, these are the new builds, which look absolutely magnificent, but the prices are just eye-watering. We'll have to see how that goes with people buying and selling. Just over in the this is the Key Theatre, the building in the front, but you can just see the spires of the cathedral in the back. And we will work our way down the river towards the second bridge over the Neen, which is London Bridge. So as you can see, Key Theatre, went to see Gary Delaney there, funny as. Then in the centre at the background is the cathedral. and working our way along. Apparently Cat's just said that is Town Bridge, possibly on London Road and not London Bridge. Makes you wonder if I know actually anything working in Peterborough for 11 years. Maybe not. And then more expensive but very nice looking apartments. So Key Theatre, and apparently in an effort to increase culture in Peterborough, that's one of the first places that they're going to shut down because it's too expensive or something like that. Just in the background with a green spire is Peterborough Lido outdoor swimming pool. And although most of what I've told you about Peterborough is probably wrong, I'm sure I read somewhere that that was one of the places that got bombed during the war, but they were aiming for a engine factory which is way over there somewhere. But when you're bombing from say 15,000 feet, that's not a bad effort. Further to your left, Crown Court. Been there a couple of times to get patients out. And then this is one of the 2 floating restaurants that I know of. There might be more, but that's called the Grain Barge. Get a pretty good meal in there. Then the building directly in front we're going to have a look at shortly, but that is where the Sea Cadets do their training, TS Gildenberg. And then Town Bridge, not London Bridge, we think. Moving on. So looking back across Fletton Quays, sorry it's a bit noisy, I'm right next to the road. We are actually standing on Town Bridge, not London Bridge. TS Gildenberg is here, and the Grain Barge in front of you. Looking into town. And just to prove a point, and working our way around, Customs House. So this is the Sea Cadets training area. There. And big fan of blue plaques, so we get a blue plaque on. So this was a police station, it's now a Premier Inn. Ah, back in the day. So this is the other floating restaurant, Charters Cafe Bar. So Charters is downstairs, below waterline I guess, and upstairs is east, and that's got, I'm sure that comes from Holland, judging by what's written on the side of it. And if you remember to my Tales from the Riverbank about a paramedic being in there saying the floor's moving and I had to tell her she were on a boat, that's the boat. And lots of swans. Swan City here. So we're working away up the river, away from the centre of town. You just got a standard footbridge over there. And then this is one of, I think, the oldest bridges in the area. 1800s maybe. And then in the background, underneath this arch, you can just see what we know as Rail World. Quite a small railway museum. And as ever, bless them, they don't seem to be getting a lot of funding. That's the way the world is, I'm afraid. Yeah, old bridge. The steel bridge alongside was added in 1924. This is absolutely covered, sorry about the flickering, in scaffolding, so there's some major works going on. But yeah, lovely old bridge. Right, moving on, see if we can get some better scenery. So that's looking downstream on the Neen. We've just come under a selection of footbridges and the railway bridge, and just working your way around. Railway, oh, there's a train going over, everybody's into trains. That's going down the March line. Rail world opposite, and then how the scenery changes. We've gone to trees, river, and hopefully a bit of wildlife. So we're having a good walk today. I'll show you as much as I can. So this section of river just goes on for quite a way. Very, very muddy underfoot. Try not to fall over. Oh, nearly. As you can see, a lot of cyclists come down here. Well used part of the river. But to say we're only 10 minutes out of the city centre, this is really nice. Birds everywhere. Just over here, I don't know if you can see, just at the end of this bridge on the left there's an egret, and then on the other side of the river in the tree is a heron. Angler's nightmare. So this used to be the inlet for the power station that is now not here anymore. Draw water off the Neen and pull it through. This is a great haunt for kingfishers. Yep, the egret's just on its way, flying over towards the heron, and then, yeah, don't think they get on. So just behind these trees, and sorry about the sunlight, is the Nene Valley Railway, so we'll be looking at that at some point during this video. So we've just come down a channel off the River Nene. We're just discussing where this goes, and it goes to, what is it, Ferry Meadows, what is it? Thorpe Meadows. Thorpe Meadows.
Oh, this is Thorpe Meadows.
So there's people fishing, you can see narrowboating. All the posh houses are down underneath that bridge, all on your right and all on your left, just posh, posh, posh. You want to get some decent food, go to that place, that's called the Boathouse. And then this brown building with the dark brown roof is a hotel. So we're going to work our way around there. In fact, looking at that place, I'm getting hungry. Come on, let's move. Kingfisher. Yep, it's packed up. Get to my left. My left.
No, in a minute.
Right.
Now I'll go to your left. Okay.
There you go. Catch seen a kingfisher. Right there. So this is all private property. No access, no fishing, no swimming, no enjoying yourself, because this is a posh area. I'm going to back off so Cat can get some kingfishing in. Waited all morning to see one of them. This is another view of the inlet, and the River Nene is over to the left. So we're going to go on to the right, and we're going to go past the rowing club rowing course. The boathouse. So we're now on the right hand side of the channel, and we're going to walk alongside the rowing course. So we just walk round over the bridge, down the other side. This is the hotel I was telling you about, and this patch of land here, the first time I ever worked with the air ambulance, when they had a red helicopter back in the day. Lots and lots of geese and swans. This is the rowing course. I think it's 1,000 metres. Somebody will correct me if I'm wrong. Probably look at it on Google. But we're going to walk down the far side, all the way down towards what we know as the Neen Parkway. And we've just spent about 10 minutes with a kingfisher, which is awesome. Right, so we've walked to the end, whether it's 1,000 metres or 2,000 metres. Answers on a postcard. Noisy bloody ambulance. Oh, it's the American style ambulance. I keep seeing that every so often. Sorry about the sun. So there is a path at the other side of this rowing lake, and then just beyond those trees is where the River Nene is, so we're going to head back towards that. But this parkway, this is the third road bridge over the Nene, and this is Nene Parkway, cunningly called Nene Parkway because I guess it goes over the Nene. You'll make your own mind up. Right, moving on. Right, this is underneath the Nene Park, or Nene Parkway. That's back down the river, and we're going towards the lock and Hortonmere station, which is quite famous if you've heard of James Bond. So I'll see you at that lock. And for those who like a little bit of James Bond trivia, in the film Octopussy, when, was it 008, was being chased, he was chased down this path, dressed in a clown's outfit. He ran over to the corner of this lock, and then he had a knife in his back and fell in there, and then he went down the river. So this lock doubled as the East and West German border in that film, and now it's well known as a rowing course. So I'm now stood absolutely on the Nene Valley Railway, and this is what was used in the film Octopussy and Goldeneye. But just going back to Octopussy, that is where the camera was positioned in that signal box for when Roger Moore, or at least his stunt double, was inside the car. So the train went on the left track, the car went on the right track, and you can see the parkway actually in the film. It's only on for a few seconds, but you do actually see it, so there, bit of fame for you. So we've now crossed over the Nene and the Nene Valley Railway. So the Nene Valley Railway is just behind these trees, and those cabins in the back are right next to the river, which is a nice place to be. So we're going to walk up to the next, hello cat, going to walk up to the next station, which is Overton Station, and that was seen in the film Goldeneye. Golf course if you're absolutely minted, and clearly I'm not a member. Right, this is the next crossing point down, and we're gradually working our way up towards that station. That's the station that was used in Goldeneye. So this is further down Nene Valley, some abandoned French carriages, and this station is the one that you see in Goldeneye. The train is heading in the direction we are heading, the black armoured train with the red Russian star on it, and the camera was on the opposite side of where we are and facing towards where we've just come from, and it's only on for maybe 3 or 4 seconds, but it's still there. So just so you know, and I'm not fibbing, Overton for Ferry Meadows. So basically everything on that side of the fence is a massive park with lakes, fishing, cycle paths, miniature railway, bit of all sorts, and in the summertime it's packed with people. Hopefully we can get back to that after this horrible COVID has gone. So that's the rail crossing at Ham Lane. I've been calling that Pig Lane all morning. I knew it was something to do with a pig, but it's Ham Lane. And then as I pan round, this is not exactly the same camera angle, but I can't get any further in, there's too many vehicles about. But this is the station where the black Russian GoldenEye train came from what was British Sugar, but that's no more. Yeah, bit of history there. So this is Overton, an extension of the museum, I guess. We'll have a walk around this place. And then we've just been told by one of the volunteers that there's Royal Mail vans. And who remembers these? Morris Miners. And then I've just thought, where's Kat? And she's in this blinking train. I'll have to get in myself. Oh, it's dark around here. There we go, set of steps. So we can actually go in a train.
Drive it.
And we can drive the train. Well, it's very, very dark. But I'm actually in the cab of a train. It's a shame there's no lights on in here.
It is.
That's interesting. Never been in a train, a modern train. I've been on footplates of old trains. I'll stop you there because I need to see to get out. We've got intercity sleeper, some kind of smiley face, I'm not sure what that is. But then one of the volunteers has said that that carriage with the cover over it is the only surviving carriage left from the 1963 Great Train Robbery. Well, it wasn't me because I was only born in 1963. And these are the old Royal Mail travelling post offices where they sorted stuff out. Fascinating. George James. The English, Welsh and Scottish Railway.
Actually owned by an American company, and W stood for Wisconsin.
Yeah. Well, this is one of them nets to catch all the mail, wasn't it?
That's interesting.
That's really clever. So yeah, 1963 Great Train Robbery. Brian White. Well. A GR pump trolley used in a Barclays advert and Coronation Street. And there it is, a pump trolley. Holds the record for the longest distance achieved on a pump trolley, 125.5 miles in 12 hours. Rather them than me, that sounds like hard work. Bit of history around here. And look at this, an IBC, they get everywhere.